Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is that time of month again. It is time to pick our TBR, which I am so excited for. So as you can see behind me, I've wrapped all of my books up. Actually, not all of them. I still have a good amount that I didn't wrap up, and it's just because I ran out of wrapping paper and I didn't want to buy any more. But we still have a good selection to choose from. We've got 30 books. As per usual, I will be choosing 10 books. I usually read about 8 books a month, but I like to choose 10 so then it gives me more sort of selection to choose from because I am a very big mood reader. So I just like having those 2 extra options. Okay guys, shall we just get straight into it? I think we should. So let's bring up the number generator. So I've got 30 here and we will just start by spinning. Number 11. Okay, she's a little bit chunkier. I'm gonna guess that this is either Renegades by Marissa Meyer or Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco. Let's just open it. Oh, I'm very excited for this. It is A Court This Cruel and Lovely by Stasia Stark. I've seen so many good things about this since I got it. So many good things. I've seen some people say that if you love ACOTAR, you would love this series. It's a fantasy romance. And I'm also pretty positive that the author is from New Zealand. I don't know if she still lives in New Zealand, but she definitely grew up in New Zealand, which is really cool. You just don't get a lot of like Kiwi authors. Yes, she's originally from New Zealand. That's so cool. Okay, so, oh, we have art in this book. Say no more. And we've got a map. This is just sort of my ideal fantasy romance. Give me a map, give me some art in the book, and just give me a good story, a good enemies to lovers story with a good backdrop, some good world building. I really hope I get this in here, and I've heard very good things about it, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. Oh, this is also a fae fantasy. I said it before in my last video, I think maybe 2 videos ago, that I've really missed fantasy romance with fae. I feel like I've read a lot of fantasy romance with like other sort of mythical creatures, but I've missed my fae friends. Okay, time to spin again. It's so fun doing this. Like, I love it every single time. Like, the thrill of the surprise. Like, what is it gonna be? Oh, okay. I've seen very good things about this. So our next choice is Beartown by Fredrik Backman. I believe this is translated from Swedish. Yes, Swedish. I really have no idea what the premise of this book is, to be honest. I think it's about this small town in Sweden, and then one day something very brutal happens to that town, and it's about how the people of the town come together. I honestly have no idea, but I've seen nothing but good things about this book. I feel like everyone I've seen that's read it has given it a 5 stars, said it's incredible, and I'm just very curious about this book. My friend Cassandra actually got me this book, so thank you so much, Cassandra, if you are watching this. It seems like a cozy, comforting read, because on the back of it, it says that it's laugh out loud funny and will help restore your faith in humanity, which is really nice. I am really looking forward to this book. I just want to know what it's all about. Like, everyone's obsessed with it, and I just want to be a part of that. I've got major FOMO, so I am really looking forward to being included. Time to spin again. Quite a slim book. I know what this is. I think it's gonna be Getting Lost by Annie Ernaux. I'm not sure. It is Getting Lost by Annie Ernaux. This won the Nobel Prize in Literature, which is a very good sign. I really love the simplicity of this book cover. It's got like a very smooth sort of texture, and there's something about like that kind of off-white cover with this clear, nice like navy blue font. I don't know why. It does something for me. I knew it was gonna be this book just because it's got these like little edges that stick out, and I could just feel it in the wrapping paper. So this has been translated from French. So Getting Lost is Annie Ernaux's diary that she kept during the 1.5 years that she had a secret love affair with a younger married man in the Soviet embassy in Paris. It says her novel Simple Passion was based on this affair, but here her writing is immediate and unfiltered, which is going to be so nice to read. Although I do feel a little bit creepy reading a woman's diary, essentially, like while she was having this affair with this man in the embassy. But I am also very intrigued because it's from a different time, and I don't know, I'm just like intrigued to see what her life was all about. She's a very famous French author. She's currently 84 years old. When she wrote this, she was divorced and she had 2 grown sons living in Paris, and she was nearly 50. Her lover escapes the city to see her there, and she seems to only be surviving in these little moments that she has these encounters with him. Oh, it's gonna be quite sad, isn't it? Something that I really like about this book is because it's a diary, it's written in diary entries. So like Monday 13th, Monday 6th, like it's all in diary entries, and I really like reading books like that. Like I like when it's broken up. So I'm really excited to read this. Let's spin that Wheel of Fortune. God, I wrapped these up very tight, like so much sellotape. It's a good one. So we have Gentlest of Wild Things by Sarah Underwood. So I recently picked this up in the bookshop without really knowing what the book is about, but the cover of it really enticed me, and then I read the back of it and I was like, ooh, this sounds good. So it is a fiction, and from what I know, it's got like Greek mythology woven into it, which I think is going to be so fascinating. So it says, on the island of Zakynthos, nothing is more powerful than desire, and love itself is bottled up and sold by Leandros, who is a power-hungry descendant of the god of Eros. And when Irene's beloved sister Phoebe catches Leandros' eyes, Irene is determined to keep her sister safe. And so what she does is she strikes a bargain with Leandros, and I think she's like, please let me take her place instead of her, just to protect her sister. While in Leandros' home, Irene grows closer and closer to Lamia, a strange neglected girl that's been kept locked away. And they realize that the freedom they yearn for will come at a terrible cost. So from the sounds of it, this is a sapphic novel, which I don't think I've read a sapphic novel before, but I'm very intrigued to read about it. I do want to diversify what I'm reading, so I'm really looking forward to this. It's kind of giving like Song of Achilles, but in Song of Achilles it's 2 guys, where here it'll be 2 girls. Also Greek mythology woven into it, so I do wonder if it was inspired by Song of Achilles. I've got no idea, but doesn't it just sound so good? I think it sounds so fascinating, and I really like the Greek mythology woven into it aspect. So I will let you guys know how this goes. I haven't really seen other people read it, but I could be wrong. I'm sure other people have, but I just haven't seen it within my little booktube world. Okay, let's spin. It's not really focusing. Can you see? Can you see now? Number 7. Oh, no. I do want to read this book. I actually do. I really do. I just feel like recently I've seen a lot of bad things about it online, and it's kind of put me off. It is Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I know that this book is like a very highly acclaimed book. I've seen so many good things about it, and I was really looking forward to reading it, but I feel like recently I've seen a lot of creators not enjoy it. And I'm sad, but I can't deny that it has put me off the book. And I know that it shouldn't. I know that it shouldn't, but it has. So if you've read this book and you've absolutely loved it, given it a 5 stars, please let me know in the comments below so I can really look forward to reading it, because I sort of need that little boost. I have read another book by Gabrielle Zevin, and I really enjoyed the writing. So I do think that it will be good. I know that it's about these 2 people, Sadie and Sam, and I think they build this video game together, and it's a story on love, but not like romantic love. I think more just like platonic love, but then I think it turns into romantic love. I've got no idea. Oh, it says this is not a romance, but it is about love. So it does sound good. I am excited to read it, but yeah, I've just kind of been put off by it for some reason. But I think it's time to finally read it, so hopefully I love it. Okay, let's spin. I think a lot of you are going to be very happy about this one. Caraval by Stephanie Garber. So, funny story, this is actually my mom's favorite series. Well, she also loves Ekatar and the Infernal Devices and The Last Hour. Usually I'm the one to recommend her series, and I recommended her Once Upon a Broken Heart, but she found this series all by herself, which I'm so proud of her for. And she absolutely loved it. She adored the Caraval trilogy. And I actually tried reading this maybe 2 years ago on my Kindle, and I really did enjoy it. I think I can't remember where I was up to in it, but I have it on my Kindle. I've got all 3 books on my Kindle because it was really cheap to buy all 3 books. Like, it came together as one book, and I really did enjoy it. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed Once Upon a Broken Heart, but mom did say to me that it gets so much better in the 2nd and 3rd book, and that I just need to give it a go. So I'm really excited that I got Caraval. I can finally read it, although I've already read probably 3/4 of it, but I do want to read it again just to kind of refresh my memory. And I think it would make mom very happy if I read the entire series. So I'm really happy this got picked. And also, I just love Stephanie Garber's writing. This is actually, from what I know, it's not a prequel, but it is kind of a spin-off from the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, and a very important character from Once Upon a Broken Heart features in this. And I think I've already been spoiled for this series because I've read Once Upon a Broken Heart first, but then again, so did my mom, and she didn't care and she still loved it, so who cares? Okay, let's spin. 21. It's quite small. What is this corner? This is so exciting. This is the Paris novel by Ruth Raquel. I only picked this up just recently. I was at the bookshop to purchase one specific book, but the cover of this really drew my attention, so I ended up getting it. And it's about this girl who is not known for being a very adventurous person. She is a creature of habit. She really likes her comfort, and she just likes her routine, and she just, you know, she wants to kind of stay in her own lane. But then one day she receives a mysterious note from her late mother and a one-way ticket to Paris. Alone and overwhelmed in a foreign city, Stella avoids new people and ventures out as little as possible, until she one day meets someone called Jules, who is an art collector. And Jules has a very different idea about how Stella should be spending her time in the French capital. So it says, somewhere between the cramped shelves of Shakespeare and Company bookshop, which, side note, I am desperate to go to that bookshop, and the crisp tablecloths of the Brasier Le Demog. I don't even know why I'm trying to pronounce that. I suck at French. And she spends her time looking through piles of discarded paintings at a busy flea market. Stella begins to rediscover her appetite for life. So it's just about this girl gaining this new lust for life and appreciation for art and food and just the many joys of life. And I don't know, it just sounds like a really interesting book, and I like books that make you want to experience and make you feel like you're there experiencing these things with her. Like, I think when I'm going to be reading this book, I'm going to feel like I'm in Paris at these nice bookshops and these nice restaurants. And yeah, I'm really excited to read this book. Okay, let's spin. I actually lied, by the way. I'm only going to pick out 9 books because there's one book that I need to read in October because me and my friend are both going to read it. So I'm only going to pick out 2 more books, and then I'll show you what that book is that I'm going to be reading. Oh. Okay. So then I got Love Story by Lindsay Kelk. This is a romance, a contemporary romance. You guys know that's not normally a genre that I really lean towards or I really enjoy. However, this one does sound good, and it's also set in the UK. I really do like books that are set in the UK more than one set in the States. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I just do. For some reason, I just do. I don't think I've heard of this book, but like I said, because I don't really read contemporary romance, I don't really look for other contemporary romances, if that makes sense. So I could have seen it, but I just wasn't aware. I saw this book when I was in the bookshop and I picked it up because it just sounds very cute, and it's heading into spring and almost summer for me in New Zealand. So I just feel like a good little rom-com sort of book would be really nice, and I really love the book cover. So I think our main female character, she is a teacher. Yes, she's a small town school teacher. However, she is actually a very famous author, but I think she uses a pen name, so no one actually knows that she's this really famous author. And our main guy, he is this hotshot creative director. They end up going to the countryside. They go on a little trip to the countryside and they have to share a cottage together. And at first they don't really like each other. Like, they're not fans of each other. I think it's hate at first sight. And then obviously when they spend more time together, they're gonna fall in love. You know how it goes. I'm excited. I think it'll be nice, and I do enjoy books like this sort of as like palate cleanser kind of books. Like, they're short, they're sweet, they're enjoyable. I know that it'll be like a happy ending and it's comforting, you know? Sometimes you just want a happy book, so I hope I get that here. Okay, so we will choose one more book from here and then I'll show you the other book that I'll be reading. Ooh. Quite small. Oh, I'm so happy I got this book. I bought it a while ago and I've been so excited to read it. So our last choice is Beastly Beauty by Jennifer Donnelly. This is a YA fantasy romance and it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Something about me as a person is I love Beauty and the Beast. It's in my top 3 favorite Disney movies of all time. And so any Beauty and the Beast retelling, I am going to read. And I'm going to love it. I think the cool thing about this is that it's spun around. So it's the girl that's actually stuck in the castle. And the guy is going to be the one that can save her from this curse. So our main character, her name is Arabella. And Arabella is cursed. She is trapped in her castle. And the only way to break this curse is to find a boy who loves her for her true self, which is a very cruel task for a girl who's been told she's impossible to love. But then a handsome thief called Beau, he somehow gets trapped inside of the castle, and he finds himself drawn like a moth to a flame to the mysterious Arabella. Say no more. I'm reading this and I'm gonna love it. It says, beauty meets female fury in the epic retelling of a classic love story. I don't think I've seen this book really around on BookTube. I could be wrong, at least not in my corner of BookTube. But yeah, when I saw it at the bookshop and I read the back of it, I was like, this sounds so good. Why have I not heard of it? So I'm very excited to read this book. I just put a jumper on because I got so cold. So the book that me and my friend are going to be reading in October is Lioness by Emily Perkins. There is actually an indie cover of this, which I prefer so much more, but I ended up getting this one because it's so much cheaper. So it's about this girl who comes from very humble beginnings, but then she gets married into like this empire building, very wealthy family, and she gets very used to that lifestyle, living her luxurious, lavish lifestyle, but then their business goes bankrupt or goes corrupt. Something happens to their business and it kind of... then they have like a massive social fallout. So I think like, I don't know, they just lose their status. I'm not sure. Therese, who is the main girl, begins to look at her life and her privileged sort of new ways with a new set of eyes. So she's sort of like forced to confront herself and her choices and be like, how did I become this person? So it just seems like a story about a woman kind of finding herself again and, you know, finding a new meaning to life, and I'm not really sure. It's in the Whitkill's Top 100. So Whitkill's is like the biggest bookshop in New Zealand, and the top 100 is always like you know, the top 100 books. And so I do want to kind of read a lot more of the top 100 just because a lot of times they are very good. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes I don't agree with the top 100, but I do think this one's going to be nice. It's not super long and it'll just be nice to read it with someone else. So that is the 10th book. I'll just show you guys. There we have it. These are the 10 books for October. Like I said, I will only be reading 8 out of the 10 of them. So 2 of them won't get chosen. How much do we want to bet that tomorrow won't get chosen? I'll try to read it. I really will. But yeah, I'm really excited. This is a very good selection of books. And we've got some good range with genres and sort of just different authors and writing styles. So I'm very excited. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you'll be reading in October. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!